Egyptian spirituality. Let's talk about it, man. It's your boy Dot from Diamond Now Incorporated. For a coaching session link down below. I always come with the facts. What was Egyptian religion and philosophy? So the religion was called Shetuat Neter. Shetuat Neter pretty much means the hidden mysteries of the divine. So a follower of Shetuat Neter follows the hidden mysteries of the divine. People also use the term Sema Tawi, which they translate that as Egyptian yoga. It more literally means to unite the two lands being Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. So Sema Tawi refers to unifying the higher self and the lower self because that's what the lands represent, the higher self and the lower self. That's why they call Sema Tawi Egyptian yoga, because yoga means to unify, and you know what I'm saying, unifying the upper lower lands, higher lower self. You see what I'm saying? That's why they called it that. So with that being said, the beliefs of Shetuat Netter can be summed up with four principles, because they had the four great truths, and these symbolize their main beliefs. And every single great truth has a yogic practice or Shedi discipline to it, because that's what a Shedi discipline is. It's pretty much a yogic practice. So with that being said, right, the first great truth is the Netter, the supreme being, is one and alone, and as never the jur, manifesting everywhere and in all things in the form of gods and goddesses or Neteru. So this one relates to yoga of wisdom. And when you actually practice yoga of wisdom, you learn that truth, that the Netter, the supreme being, is one and alone. And as Neber the Jur meaning the all-encompassing being, and as the all-encompassing being, it manifests everywhere and in all things in the form of God and goddesses or Neteru. You know what I'm saying? You learn that from studying yoga of wisdom. You learn that from studying yoga of wisdom. You pretty much learn about the supreme being, God, the source, the Netter. You learn about all that on an intellectual level and stuff like that when you practice yoga of wisdom. And you practice it by pretty much studying a certain theology and stuff like that. You will study the mythology and the teachings, then you would actually meditate on that type of stuff. Because when you meditate on your knowledge, you turn it into wisdom, because you start to experience the knowledge, and then it gets built into wisdom and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So the next great truth, right, is about yoga of action. And it says, lack of righteousness brings fetters to the personality, and these fetters cause ignorance of the divine. When you don't act in harmony with nature, you end up having fetters. These are pretty much negative qualities that attack your mind, like anger, sadness, guilt, fear. These are all called the fetters of set and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And when you have these fetters, you become ignorant of the divine. So yoga of action is about acting in harmony with nature and stuff like that, and pretty much acting in line with the source. The next one's about yoga of devotion. That one says devotion to the divine leads to freedom from the fetters of Set. So Set is the Egyptian god of the ego and stuff like that, right? And when you are devoted to the source, right? When you practice yoga of devotion, you pretty much devote yourself to a god or goddess, or to the highest god, and this helps you purify your emotions and connect you to the source on an emotional level. When you have these emotions of the source, you feel things like joy, peace, happiness, and you always feel like doing the right thing. Therefore, you never experience the fetters of Set. You don't experience anger, fear, greed, lust, all that other stuff. You do just feel these higher emotions because you devote yourself to the divine. The last one relates to yoga of meditation. And this one says, the practice of Shedi disciplines leads to knowing oneself and the divine. This is called being Magheru, or true of speech. This one is about meditation for a couple reasons. One, because meditation, right, is what helps you know yourself in the divine, because it helps you unify with the divine. Also, it says becoming Magheru, or true of speech. True of speech means to become righteous, pretty much, right? Now, they say true of speech because speech is likened to your will. And when you're true of will, pretty much your willpower is pure. Your ability to act is always being acted out in a positive way. And meditation helps you work on your willpower and stuff like that, as well as eventually unifying with the divine. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that one's about meditation. So with that being said, right, there's also one more yoga, that being tantric yoga, or life force cultivation yoga. And tantric yoga is about unifying with the source, mainly through your energies. And there's no great truth for that, because when you do the other four Shady disciplines or yogic practices, you naturally unify your energies to the divine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's three main theologies in Egypt, right? You have Anunian, Theban, and a Memphite theology, and each theology touches on a different dimension of life and of the mind. So Theban theology, right, is about a moon, and that deals with the unconscious mind and the hidden aspects of life, and also observer consciousness, right, or observer awareness, right? The one about Anunian theology deals with Ra, and that deals with the subconscious mind, that deals with light, energy, the spirit, and stuff like that. And then you have Memphite theology that deals with Ptah. Ptah deals with literal consciousness. You know what I'm saying, and creating reality and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what Ptah deals with. So with all that being said, right, when you practice yoga of wisdom, you would like study the myth about, you know, about Ra and stuff like that. You may devote yourself to Ra and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you would eventually meditate on Ra and the teachings, and then eventually unify with that, and then you would become Makiru inside that aspect and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? But there's also other theologies too. You have like Asarian theology, which is actually very heavy. That one's about Asar. Asar is, he's over there. You probably can't see him. It's who my channel, Asar John. Asar is the Egyptian god of the soul and stuff like that. It's a theology about your soul, how it came to physical reality and stuff like that, and then has to, you know, get resurrected and stuff like that. I'll talk about them all in a separate video. And then you also have the goddess tradition, which is pretty much worshiping the goddesses instead of the gods and stuff like that. It's a more feminine devotional path and stuff like that. And then you have Atonism, you know what I'm saying, worshiping the sun disk and stuff like that, because the sun gives out life force energy. It was pretty much that Atonism is supposed to be a monotheistic religion in the sense that all the other ones have gods and goddesses. This one's supposed to be only one god. You see what I'm saying? So there's that also. I'll talk about them more in depth in a separate video. Then I may even go more in depth with individual video on each single one. I might do that too. We're gonna see what happens. But with that being said, right, Shetuat Nutter was the Egyptian religion. You know what I'm saying? They also call it Sema Tawi. And their beliefs are set up inside the 4 great truths, and each great truth relates to a Shedi discipline or yogic practice, which helps you to become one with the source through your intellect, which is the wisdom yoga, through your emotions, which is devotion, through your actions, which is yoga of action, and through your will, which is yoga of meditation. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to see more information on my channel about Egypt, just subscribe. You know what I'm saying? If you want a coaching session, link down below. If you want to support the channel, link down below. Patreon and donations. It's been your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Entertainment. I'll catch you in my next video. Peace.